Alright guys, here's a question I get asked all the time, and I just gotta flesh it out right here for you because it's really, really important. The question is, do calories matter? Do you have to be in a calorie deficit to drop fat? And the bottom line is yes. Yes, you do. And if someone tells you you don't, they're just trying to sell you something, and they really don't know what they're talking about. Here's the thing, any diet that works, that gets you to drop fat, even if you're not counting calories, quote unquote, one way or another, they try and trick you into eating less calories. So maybe it's by doing a paleo diet where you cut out all these other foods. You're no longer drinking pop and eating chips, and you're no longer eating tons of carbs. And so naturally, you're just eating less calories. As well, you're filling up on very, very filling foods like proteins and veggies. So you're going to reach your fullness level faster at a lower calorie intake. So basically, all these approaches that perpetuate this idea that calories don't matter, basically they're wrong. The calories matter, but by switching to certain nutrition protocols, it just helps you stay in a calorie deficit. Now the problem is that doesn't last. Okay, so if you go to a paleo style diet, or you go to any specific diet, or maybe you just stop eating at a certain time, well, yeah, for a first period of time, naturally your calorie intake will automatically come down. Eventually, your body will adapt to this diet, and you'll start to be able to eat more and more of the foods that you're allowed to eat, and you'll start just to cut into that calorie deficit. And that's why so many people hit plateaus on their diet. They're no longer losing weight. Well, when initially they were switching to this diet and they're eating, say, maybe 2,000 calories a day and dropping weight, well, now they're creeping up and they're eating 25, 26, 2,700 calories a day. And that's what I see often with the paleo diet, is that people don't realize the importance of the numbers, because fat loss is a numbers game. You have to be in that deficit. And so they start to eat more, fatty, nuts, and foods of that nature. And nuts are fine, but they can very easily be overeaten. Or they start making paleo pancakes and paleo this, which are just loaded with calorie density. And then, God forbid, dumping butter and MCT oil in their coffee. God, no. That's just a recipe for insidious weight gain, as Mark Sisson uses to describe having a lot of carbs in your diet, which is just not true. It's the numbers game, and it's about the calorie deficit. Now, here's what you have to also understand, is that just because it's a numbers game, and just because you have to be in a calorie deficit, does not mean you should just eat protein shakes and eat Oreo cookies or eat whatever you want, because that doesn't work. Okay, and why does that not work? Because humans are highly emotional and rational creatures. If we're eating protein shakes and Oreo cookies, we're going to have such a hard time staying in that deficit, because those types of foods do nothing for our satiety. They don't raise our satiety hormones. So we're constantly thinking about food, and we're just going to let go, and we're going to creep up and eat too many calories. So really, understand that the calorie deficit is very, very important. Okay? Understand that. Also, understand that you should be eating foods that are going to provide you with plenty of nutrition to nourish your body and to support optimal health and muscle building and fat loss. And also realize that you want to eat foods that are filling in nature and that satisfy you and make you satiated. Because if you feel full on a diet, it's going to work and you're going to stick to it. If you are hungry and constantly just have impulses to keep eating by just basing a diet off of just essentially crap foods, then you're not going to succeed in your diet, because we're only human. We only have so much willpower we can use in a day, and we're just going to give in. So that's really the deal with calories. And if you really don't believe that calories matter, well, if you look at any properly controlled study over the past 50 years, well, they all show that when someone is in a calorie deficit and they're eating low calories, weight loss takes place. And that's why if you are in prison, if you're a prisoner of war, or you're in some dire situation where you have no food, that's why when people starve to death, they get skinny, they lose tons of weight. And obviously, if they had enough calories and enough proteins to support their muscle mass while training to trigger muscle mass retention, then they would just end up getting shredded. But instead, because they're not able to strength train, they're not able to get enough protein, they're not able to get be in that proper calorie deficit, they just end up getting just emasculated. So really, after watching this video, obviously it's very apparent that calories do matter. Now, if you want to learn basically my full approach to getting shredded and getting absolutely chiseled, Well, I have this awesome free report. It's the 14 roadblocks to getting shredded, and it is fantastic. It's going to bust a ton of myths and show you a very simple approach that works better than anything to leaning down to low levels of body fat. So that is in the description right below. So hit the first link in the description, and you'll be able to download for absolutely free the 14 roadblocks to getting shredded. Hope you guys enjoy it. Talk soon. Take care.